we have to move into an entirely new era. This is what it's all about. The era where we lead from the heart, we lead with the heart, and that will never mean that you have to abandon yourself. Because you are inside that heart. You. Everyone else also, but you. Yes. So we have to uncover those ways. We have to uncover them. We have to dedicate ourselves to them. We have to fall in love with them. We have to sing to them. We have to dance to them. We have to praise them. We have to celebrate them. We have to be these new ways. Because if not us, who then? I am here to announce that something really special is happening in my world. I am about to release, actually just right now, I am in the process of releasing something that I haven't done in a long time, something that I haven't done in more than a year, and also something that I am putting forward as a response to a massive request that I feel from the field, from the feminine field. I feel that we are currently navigating a really, really transformational moment where we are recognizing that yes, we have the power, yes, we have the energy, yes, we have the vision, yes, we have the dreams, but the way that we achieve these dreams, the way that we accomplish that vision matters, and matters even more than the vision itself, than the accomplishment of the vision itself. So let me know if you know what I'm talking about. I feel like this conversation is just buzzing in the field, that women all over the planet are just popping up and settling into that awareness that yes, we can arrive to our visions. Yes, we can achieve big things in a masculine way. Yes, we can do it by pushing, by hustling, by sacrificing our health and our well-being and our relationships. Yes, we can do it in that way. It's like we figured out how to do that. And yet, right now, we are coming to this awareness where we understand that it matters how. It really matters how. And that in itself is the feminine awareness. So, ta-da! This is an intro to a conversation I want to have with you in anticipation of my new free masterclass. So presenting my new free masterclass, which is called Unguarded Heart, and it will take place starting from the 12th of June. It's already possible to register for it. You are the first ones to hear about it. The registration is open, and we will have 4 really powerful days where we are going to be exploring these feminine ways, the feminine way to move from the heart, to move towards extraordinary success, to be a woman not as a sacrifice to our big dreams and our big visions, but to be fully a woman as a service to our highest visions, to our highest desires, to our biggest dreams, and ultimately for evolution of humanity. So that's Unguarded Heart. Registration is wide open, and I want to set the context for it, for what we are going to be exploring there, and also make this live valuable for you. And please interact with me, please respond when something really lands for you. And also, if you can think of someone who will benefit from this conversation, please invite a friend. There is a way to invite someone into this conversation. Please do so. So, the how, the process of life, the process of being, the process of relating. We are constantly finding ourselves in the process of relating with life, in the process of relating with moment by moment unfoldment of who we are, in moment by moment breath. We are in relating with life constantly. And that is the feminine way. So the masculine way is that goal-oriented approach. Yeah, when we look at the masculine and feminine on the horizontal plane, there's also a way to look at it on the vertical plane. But on the horizontal plane, yeah, the masculine approach is this one. Okay, I have a goal. What do I need to do to accomplish that goal? Okay, until I accomplish that goal, I won't feel settled. I just want to keep going, keep going, keep going. And once I've accomplished that goal, yes, here we are. I feel good about myself. I feel good about the world. I feel good about my work. I feel good. It's a bit like ejaculation. Oh, very much like ejaculation. Yeah, very masculine. Like you build. Okay, here I am. I have arrived. So that's one way. Yeah, it's masculine way. And many of us, we learn that way because we actually oftentimes are educated that that's the only way. That's the only way to be successful. That's the only way to get what you want. That's the only way to have a good life is to do, go. And then at the end of your life, you're like, okay, I did it all. I've accomplished it all. Now finally I can relax. Now finally I can afford myself some luxury. Now I can just stop working and I can enjoy life. And you are like 60. This model we've seen a lot in life. But now we are recognizing that there must be another way. There must be another way because we are having those experiences of expansion of the heart. We are having those experiences of how different we are when we are nourished, when we are actually living in our body, when we are actually prioritizing our connections, when we are actually taking care of the process, not only of the goal, when we stay nourished, where we stay hydrated, where we stay like a plant, like we stay in constant consumption of the nutrients that we need. So we experience that. Yeah, maybe you go on a retreat. Now I had a call with my ISIS Code group and many of them were just on a retreat with me and they are also telling me like, okay, that's how I felt in the retreat, that's how I felt after the retreat, and now I want to maintain that state. Yes, because that's the state of nourishment, that's the state of blossomed heart, that's the state of yum, it feels good, I feel at home in my heart, I feel at home in my body. Of course I want to maintain that state. So we are experiencing that. And then you look at your life, you look at your work, you look at the things that you've set for yourself, and you're like, that I have to then leave that and then do that. Because how do I marry the two? Because these are two different parts of my life. So like, this is my goals, these are my visions, these are my desires. That's the way to get to them. But this is my heart and this is my well-being and it seems like it's a different thing. And so that's what we've been trying to do. And so many women who have achieved success achieved it in that separation, in that sense of like, okay, this whole package that nourishes me, all my friendships, all my relationships, pause. Now let's work, let's hustle, let's create success, let's bring in some cash, boom, let's go. And then she goes, she achieves success, and at some point, hopefully sooner than later, she realizes that she has lost herself, that she hasn't laughed in a while, that orgasms are really not a word that's part of her vocabulary, that radiance is not something that she is complimented on, it's not something that she experiences on the inside. And when she recognizes that, she has two choices. I mean, maybe she has more, but now I have two in my mind. One, she just collapses because she says, oh my gosh, I lost myself and I don't know what to do. And then the collapse happens and then she goes like, okay, I just want to stop this whole thing that I had in my mind. I burned down. I don't know how to do it. This is for other people. Maybe I'm not resilient enough. Maybe I'm not ready yet. Maybe it's just not for me. Can I just be told what to do? Like, I don't want to do that. So she may go into collapse, which happens to a lot of women. Yeah, they start something, they are full of ideas, but then they see it's like they lose themselves, and so they drop it, or they go into override. Yeah, and override means that she's aware somewhere in the back of her mind that this is costing her life force and that she is running dry and she's really burning herself on the inside, and she just cannot find a way how to stop this machine. But okay, let me just keep going, maybe just like a couple more years, and then we will see what happens. So she goes into the override. But then in the override, it's also a very dangerous thing. Like the first thing is very dangerous when she goes into collapse and then she's giving up on her dreams because she couldn't find a way to lead in harmony with the depth of her being. Yeah, so that's dangerous because she is giving up on those big visions that were placed inside of her, that she is meant to give birth to, that she is meant to be a conduit for. But then here in the override, it's also a really dangerous place, because in the override, what starts to happen, we put more and more guard around the heart. And we just say, the heart, just let's just chill it off, because I don't have time for it, because it's very time consuming and very demanding, and I will come back to it later. It reminds me how one of my best friends, when like what he told me when I just started spiritual path, he said, okay, well, what you're doing sounds really amazing. I know I'm gonna get there, but give me just like 5-10 years. I'll just party, I'll just do my things, I'll just do this life, and then I'll get into the spiritual path. But I was like, but you can do it together. He was like, oh, I don't know. So this is kind of similar here. It's like, okay, I need to do the thing, I need to do the hustle, and the heart, just let it wait. And here the heart starts to get guarded, because when you don't give attention to the heart, it's not just sitting there waiting for you, it's actually slowly dying. When we don't feed our soul, when we don't live in communion with that which is the most sacred, the dearest, the deepest aspects of ourselves, when we don't live in communion with those, they die off. They don't sit and wait. Okay, let's wait until she finally notices us. No, they slowly start disappearing, and more crust over them, and more guard over them, and more protection around them, and more quiet is their voice. So this guard starts to come, and then what we see people who have accomplished a lot in life, or at least have tried, but they don't have light in their eyes. You don't feel their hearts. There's no warmth around them. They are cold. They are closed. There's no relationship possible with these people. They've given away that most sacred part of themselves. And we have no one to blame, actually, because that's what we learned. That's what we've seen modeled to us. And we didn't see that people actually managed to bring the two together, to be super highly driven with full-on willpower and passion and drive for life. And continuing holding the fire in your own hands like that, with the heart, partnered with the heart. We haven't seen much of that. But then, of course, there is another way. There is another way. And I do believe that now collectively we are waking up to this completely new way. The way that has not been modeled to us, the way that the path that no one has walked before us, the path that we don't have roadmaps for. We have to create them ourselves. And that alone is terrifying, because most of us are much more, ready to walk when someone says, like, okay, this way works. Go there, do it like this, then you can do it. But for many of us, we are pioneers right now. We are walking paths that have not been walked before. And we are discovering our own maps, right? Being on the territory, and you don't have time to prepare on the airplane, looking at the guidebook. You're like right there on the territory, and you have to figure out the way. And that's what I see in my own life in so many ways, because my whole life is offered in service to love. My whole life's work, my whole life, my every breath is offered to that. This, you may have heard my story, but when that kiss happened, when I got kissed by grace from inside, there was no turning back for me. That was it. Like, I met the divine, and that's it. After that, life cannot be the same again. I cannot go into like choosing my path. It was very clear. That's the path right now. And so in that, my whole work, my whole career, my business, it's all entirely dedicated to love. And so I had to figure out the way to keep that as a priority, even though I am running a business, and a very successful business. I am dealing with a lot of people every single day. My work has impacted hundreds of thousands of people. This business has brought in large, multiple millions of revenue. So all of that is happening. And at the same time, all of that only makes sense because it is all happening in service to love, all happening in service to the heart, all happening in service to the awakening, to the remembrance of our true nature. So I've been challenged in very intense, powerful ways to find a way to bridge the two. And actually what I discovered, and that's what I will be sharing in Unguarded Heart Masterclass, that the two are inseparable. We actually separated them, but they are in fact inseparable. They are made to be together. And it's not even about balance, because one of the most popular questions that I'm asked is about the balance of the masculine and feminine. It's like, okay, there's this drive, there is this vision, there is this thing I have to do, but then there's also my love and my heart and my radiance and my pleasure and my orgasms and my sex life and all the ways in which I'm expressing myself as a woman. How do I balance the two? And I always say, it's not about the balance. We got it wrong. It's not about the balance. You cannot balance something that is one and the same. But that's what we get to discover. We get to discover how these two are one and the same, how they exist because of each other and for each other and inseparable from each other. These two coexist, have always coexisted and will always coexist. But we have to do some inner work in order to put things straight. We have to align some things internally in order to remember how things truly are. Because we live in the society, in the world that is so guided by the mind, the ordinary mental consciousness, not the genius mind, but the mind that is like this chit-chat mind that is always speaking, that is always busy, that is jumping from one subject to the next, that always has thoughts. It's like, we are always full of thoughts. And then how much do we believe these thoughts? Is the training, is the meditation training, where you learn to observe these thoughts and not believe in them so much, but finding your depth, finding your truth, not in the thoughts, not in the constantly changing mind, but in something deeper, in the heart. And so this is a journey. You have to go into releasing the guards of the heart, to discover the heart that is completely free, that is completely conducive to the divine, that is all-encompassing, all-embracing, all-loving, and exists without the guard. And at the same time doesn't make you dysfunctional, because that's where so many stumble. They realize that, I can feel and I can be in the feeling, and I can just, like be moved by the heart and be guided by my sensations, my feelings, and be in the flow. And here, oftentimes we kind of find ourselves being without the spine and just being pulled from one direction to another. We don't really have solid opinion about anything. It's more like a doormat state. And we know that, and we've experienced it as children at least, and then very likely in your adult life as well. You've experienced that, you've seen that in other people where they just like, it's like there's no spine, there's no alignment, there's no vision, there's no direction, and we don't like that state, and we think that's maybe what it's about, to live with an unguarded heart, to live with an open heart. That's what it's about, to go into that spineless fish kind of state. But it's not. Because then after that stage, when we recognize it, like, okay, come on, give me a break here. I want to bring my opinion forward. And here the feminism, specifically for women, the feminism has liberated us a lot in that. Like the feminist movement came and said, like, hey women, you can have equal pay, you can vote, you can do all these things, you are not miserable, you have the same, you can be the same and even better. And so a lot of women started to feel this liberation, but the liberation started to happen into their masculine, not into their feminine. So this liberation didn't liberate the heart, this liberation liberated our ability to do, to achieve, to go forward. And thanks for that, it really gave enormous amount of freedom to women, but still it didn't give us an access to the heart. And so a lot of women are still stuck in that stage where they feel like, okay, no, I need to stand up for myself, I need to, hold myself straight here, I need to rely on myself, I should do it all by myself, there's no one I can rely on, there's no support that I can ask for, it's all on me, I can do it and I know I can, and I don't need anything from others. I'm self-sufficient, I'm independent, I am, I know what to do, I know who I am, I will move forward. But in that, you see, even with this energy, you can tell that there is a disconnection from the heart. There is a distance from the heart. It's a lot of the mind. It's a lot of the harshness of the mind, coldness of the mind. There's no softening here. It's hard. And when it's hard, it's like, it means we are that hard on the inside. It means there is a lot of criticism in that, and usually criticism first of all towards our own selves, and this harshness and hardness towards our own selves. So this way hurts. It hurts to live that way. We hurt ourselves from the inside when we live that way. And therefore there is an invitation to move into a next stage, because this is not it. Yeah, it's not that, okay, I need to go away from this helpless princess stage where, others tell me what to do. Now I'm going to tell myself what to do, and I'm going to tell everyone else what to do. That's not it. Yeah, there's a whole other stage where we find that actually we can live with an unguarded heart. We can live with an openness. We can live deeply, in deep devotion to the heart, deeply listening, deeply feeling, deeply experiencing life, letting people in, letting experiences in, letting support in, letting hurt in also. Yeah, we're not going to be delirious here. Yes, when you live open, you also are open to the hurt. And that's what happened in the first place. We wanted to protect ourselves because we didn't want to hurt. Because we know how much pain there can be. Especially in that stage of that openness without the spine stage. In this stage, we get hurt a lot. Our vulnerability is being taken from. Abuse happens, assault happens. All sorts of pain gets inflicted because we are soft, because we are available, because it's very easy to take from someone who is that soft. But I'm not saying that that's where we have to go back to. We can go back to a state which is an enlightened state, a state which is a transpersonal state, a state which says like, okay, I've learned from all of that and I'm entering into a completely new state of being. A state where vulnerability becomes a choice, not a default status. Yeah, where vulnerability becomes like, I choose to be vulnerable, where I choose to be open, because I know that in this openness, I become available to supreme power. I become available for something that is far greater than me, to move through me, to create through me, to create through me. And this is where miracles happen. And this is where I see unrealistic results in my own business. This is where I see stuff that I couldn't have planned for happen. This is where I see enormous amount of money coming in, enormous amount of wealth, enormous amount of joy, of pleasure, of availability to life, enormous opportunities. This is where they come. They don't come in that place where it's like, I'm going to create this perfect structure here so that my heart stays nice and protected. No, not here. Not in that state of like, I have it all figured out, I know how it is, it's all on me. You see, I've created this perfect little box for myself and this is how I'm using it, this is how I'm creating within this box. No, I've tried that. Honestly, I've tried that. I've been there. I really tried to go like, okay, this is a new month in my business. What are we creating this month? What are we launching here? Let's go. This makes sense because this is the same topic as that. And like, I've tried it. I failed miserably. I failed miserably when I did that. Really. Like, now I can laugh at it, but actually it was very sad. Because the mind was like, what? I put up my best cards. I thought it's gonna work like this. This is logical right now. But no, like, no, not at all. This is not where success comes in, actually. And actually what I find is that whenever we try to succeed in that paradigm, it's like trying to succeed in the old paradigm, in the paradigm of hustle, in the paradigm of, okay, what works? The mind, the ways of the mind work. When I'm all in control, this is when it works. I'm just gonna, put myself into it. I'm just gonna create an outline and use my spreadsheets and, put it all together. And this is how I'm gonna present it to the world. Everything is well thought through and I know what I'm saying here. And this is when the pause comes in and this is when the next thing comes in. And it's like, well, it takes a lot of energy to do that. And you keep thinking about it, even when you are there with your kids, with your partner, with your, like, you just cannot let it go because it's so heavy, it's so consuming. And then you cannot let go. You just, on the weekends and in the mornings and before going to bed, all you do is you think about your strategy, about your plan, about how you should schedule everything, how you should structure everything. It's very exhausting. It's really exhausting and it's not worth it because it really doesn't work all that well. It will work to a certain extent, but it's not going to work sustainably. And if we want to create big things on this planet, really, and I know there are many of you here who know you are made for big. It's like, tell me here, by the way, if it's true, if it's about you. Like you're like, I know I am made for something big. It's so big, I don't even understand. It's so big, I cannot even comprehend it. It's so big, it's like it's bigger than me. It's emerging from somewhere deep in me. And I don't know, like, is this you? Like, do you know this inside of you, that you're made for something magnificent? If yes, you have to do it in a way that is sustainable. In a way that you can do it your whole entire life. This is where, quick kind of make money now, it's not gonna work. I need good results right now. I need, post this thing on the Instagram. I need it to blow up right now. Like, you have to abandon this mentality altogether. Because if we want to do big things, we have to look big, we have to think big, we have to hold big. And this means you have to put yourself into it completely and not try to succeed in the old ways. Because big means your whole life goes into it. Big means it has to be good for you. Big means you have to be healthy. Big means you have to be strong in order to do that. Big means you cannot do it sacrificing your well-being. You just cannot. It's not allowed. It's not possible. Because if you exhaust yourself, who's gonna do it? And so this is where it doesn't work. And this is why your pushing has not brought you so much. This is why the hustle and the hamster wheel, kind of running in the hamster wheel and like not even knowing what did you sign up for, what is there for you to do, because you're already busy and your whole day is busy with calls and the calendar is like, oh, like this is why it hasn't worked, because you've been trying to succeed in the ways of the old. But you are the bringer of the new. You are here in this time, in this day and age, because you've signed up for that. Because you have something to bring that moves humanity forward, not backward. So you have to take some responsibility. You have to get honest with yourself and with what you're doing with your life. And stop this hustle and stop this hamster wheel. Running for what? The carrot? Forget the carrot. You have a whole empire awaiting you. Why are you chasing the carrot? So we have to move into an entirely new era. This is what it's all about. The era where we lead from the heart, we lead with the heart, and that will never mean that you have to abandon yourself. Because you are inside that heart. You. Everyone else also, but you. Yes. So we have to uncover those ways. We have to uncover them. We have to dedicate ourselves to them. We have to fall in love with them. We have to sing to them. We have to dance to them. We have to praise them. We have to celebrate them. We have to be these new ways. Because if not us, who then? I told you there are no maps. No one's done it before. We have to do it. But the way we do it, we are healing it all. We are healing the previous generations. We are healing the future generations. We are changing it. And we live in these times because of that. I profoundly believe in that. Profoundly. That we really came here for that. We came here for these times. We were born for that. And so if you are like, oh my gosh, but I cannot, I don't know, I've tried so many things, I'm exhausted. It's okay. We got this. You don't have to do it all by yourself. That's also really important. And that's also the way of the heart, where you just let go of this nonsense of trying to do it all by yourself. I've been trying to do it by myself for so many years, like at least 7 years, all by myself. And then I realized I've slowed myself down so much. I don't even know where I would be now if I did not try to do it all by myself for all those years. But open to support, open to community, open to people who actually want to support you. There is so much support available, but we have to connect to our hearts in order to even recognize the support. And stop expecting that everyone wants to take something from you, everyone is somehow mean to you, everyone needs something from you. There's nothing to take. Drop into the heart and you will see that there's nothing to take. But what matters is that there is space for this heart. And you create the space and you live from this place and you live in your pleasure, in your orgasms, in your connection to your body, in your joy, in your radiance, in your beauty. You live in that. That's what matters right now more than anything. You living in that means you living in the heart. Because true radiance comes from the heart. True radiance is the grace shining through, grace of God shining through. This is what true radiance is. It's not some kind of creams we put on ourselves, all the filters we put on ourselves. This radiance, you know it. It's this glowing light within you, where you just, you know it's your true place. This is your home. But that's not the end. That's not the end. That's just the beginning. If you're, walking this path that even makes you watch this video, it means that it's just the beginning for you. In traditional spiritual paths, that's oftentimes seen as the end. Okay, you remember who you are, just stay there. That's it. But in the path that we are walking, it's like you remember who you are. Okay, let's begin the game. Because that's when the fun begins. Because that's when you can get out of the way. That's when you can allow something grandiose to move through you. And this is when you can truly, truly serve and truly fulfill the purpose of your incarnation. And there's no greater joy than that. No greater joy than knowing that you're walking the path of Dharma, that you're really walking closely to yourself in sweetness, in deep meeting and deep merging with the one you came here to be. So it doesn't feel like a jump or leap, my hair says. It feels like a graceful next step. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's exactly it. It's step in, not step out, but step in. You step in, and then from there, you are actually you. You are shining as you. You are shining as grace that you are. Okay, beloveds, so that's what I wanted to announce, that we have a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous container coming up called Unguarded Heart. It's a free masterclass, but please know that the registration will close at some point and it won't be possible to enter into it. So please make sure that you sign up the moment you hear this. And we will have gorgeous, gorgeous 4 days together. I cannot wait for everything that's coming there. And this masterclass will change the trajectory of your life. It will anchor you in truly feminine ways of being. You will understand what happens instead of trying to find balance of the masculine and feminine, but you actually find how to create unrealistic success while being fully the woman, while living fully from your heart. So I can't wait to see you on the inside. Thank you for being here.